Hey guys, Kevin Conan Bankens here. Got a ton of emails and inboxes from Facebook over the last few days on all the shootings and violence that have been going on. People are scared. Typically, people are asking questions and they want to know, how to secure themselves. And so I'll just go over a few of them here. And again, this is really kind of like my point of view. You may have a different point of view, and that's fine. Everybody sees the world in a different light, right? So, Tammy from Mississippi says, should I buy a gun? Um, the problem with everybody, when things happen, people immediately assume like, I should run out and buy a gun. Number one is if you're a virgin shooter, basically, if you've never really shot a weapon, number one, you need to take a gun course. You don't just need to go out and buy a gun because you may be your worst enemy at that point. If you don't know how to load it, if you don't know your timing, your distance, different things with a weapon, just having a gun in your home can be as unsafe to you or your children as it can be to the perpetrator. So you want to make sure that if you do go buy a weapon, that number one, you know what caliber of weapon to buy. Someone told me a while back that they went out and bought a 45, and I asked them, "Have you shot it yet?" And they said, "No, no, I haven't shot it yet." And so a couple of days later, they went and shot it, and I got a call from my buddy, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is a cannon." So again, you want to make sure that whatever weapon you buy, especially if you're not used to shooting weapons, that the weapon that you do buy, that you're able to handle that weapon, and also that the caliber of weapon that you buy can put down the perpetrator if it comes down to that incident. Also, uh, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, I carry a gun in my car," and that or have it in my home, and different things like this. The problem with having a weapon, let's just use the home, but the problem with having a weapon in your home is usually by the time you get it out, if you have in a lock box or different things, there are some lock boxes that are real accessible and you can get into them really fast. The problem with it, a buddy of mine was showing me a couple years ago, was trying to show me his sidearm that he had, and it took him about 10 minutes to find the key to the box. So there's a lot of things that go into owning a weapon and handling a weapon. Can you handle that weapon in the dark, for instance? If someone breaks in your home without clicking a light on, can you handle that weapon? Do you know how to load it? Is it already loaded? There's a lot of things that go into owning a gun. So I would definitely say I'm not against buying a gun. I have many guns myself. I love guns. But at the same time, you need to know how to use that weapon in the dark as well as in the light. You need to know that that weapon is accessible at any time. Let's go on to the next one here. Let's see. Should I take martial arts classes? Absolutely, absolutely. Martial arts class cannot hurt you. That is one thing that is imperative. Everybody needs to take a martial arts class if you're capable of doing that. The problem with some martial arts classes, and I'm not here to belittle anybody or put anybody down, is that a lot of martial arts classes out there are not realistic. So you want to make sure that the martial arts class that you are taking deals in reality self-defense. Now, if you're looking for a um, sport martial arts, that's okay because that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking for self-defense classes, you want to make sure that you're looking into some reality self-defense classes. If you take jiu-jitsu, for instance, you want to make sure that if you're looking for self-defense, that the academy that you're taking self-defense classes from is teaching you actual self-defense and not sport rolling. Again, I love sport rolling as well. Sport martial arts, sport karate. I do sport karate as well. I've done sport jiu-jitsu. I've done sport judo as well in my time. But primarily, I teach self-defense for reality purposes. So you want to make sure that whatever self-defense class you are going to is teaching you how to deal with threats that may come down your way, and not just racking up points for a tournament. That's real important, and I don't mind answering any questions if anybody has questions on what is the best self-defense class for you. Every self-defense class may not be for everybody. Keep that in mind as well. Some classes are much rougher than other classes. I do know that some people have injuries from whatever in their life, so want to make sure that whatever class you're taking, that you can actually take it and go to work tomorrow too. So that's important to look into as well. But whatever class that you're looking to take, make sure again that that class is dealing with reality self-defense, and that the self-defense is pretty practical and not is going to work on whatever perpetrator comes down your way. One thing I love about jiu-jitsu is that jiu-jitsu teaches how to deal with bigger, stronger opponents, not just somebody your own size. So keep that in mind. Next question. Should I carry pepper spray? Now, there's a lot of things out there about pepper spray that you'll hear, oh, pepper spray doesn't work. It's not going to stop the perpetrator. It's not going to... Well, let me explain this to you. I have been shot with 1 million heat units before, and to be honest with you, it did not stop me. And now, of course, this was in training. I've never been sprayed by an actual cop, but I actually got asked to come and do some SWAT training with a SWAT team several years ago, and they blasted me, man. I mean, and they wanted me to keep saying, if you can come on through it, keep coming, and I did. I went right through it. But the problem with that was, even though I got through it, let's just say I started at a 10. By the time I got through it, I was acting at about a 5. So even though it did not stop me, it definitely shut my senses down. My eyes were watering, my nose was draining. I couldn't see very well. I couldn't take a full breath. So again, will pepper spray work? Will it stop the perpetrator? Maybe. Maybe it stops a lot of people. But then again, it may not totally disable the opponent, but at the same time, I can promise you from my own experience, it will shut their senses down. And so let's look at levels. If they start at a level 10, that pepper spray is at least going to bring them down to a level 5, to where you can at least defend yourself or get away from the situation. So I would definitely say pepper spray is a great first line of defense. Make sure that the pepper spray that you're buying, though, is not just mace. You want to make sure that it says pepper spray, and I also want to make sure that it reads 1 million heat units or better. 1 million heat units is basically the equivalent of throwing gasoline in a match in your face for about 45 minutes. It's extremely hot, and it'll make you hate your life for about 45 minutes to an hour. So I would definitely say that pepper spray, and it's also non-lethal. You don't have to won't have to go to court over it, versus punching people in the face or pulling a knife on them or shooting them and have to go prove why I had to use lethal force. So I think pepper spray is a really good first line of defense, if we can say it like that. Next question. Carrie will like to know, what is the best home defense? Best home defense, number one, is just what that last word it says, defense. What is the first? And we want to look at defense, guys, as first level, second level, third level. So the first level of defense is how easy is it to get into my home? For instance, my home has, even on my doors, I have what we call door bars. So the door bar goes under the door handle and locks into the floor. So it's very, very difficult to push through. Could you push through it? I'm sure you could, but number one, it's going to probably wake everybody in the house up, because you're going to have to kick the hell out of it or pry the hell out of it to get into the home. So it's going to definitely wake up my dog. Dog is another number one defense. Have a dog. They make a lot of racket. But door chimes, a door chime on your doors and window chimes. If the window goes up, there you can go to Home Depot, you can go to Lowe's, and you can buy these little accent. They're like $10 for 4 or 5 of them, and they peel off. You stick them on your window. If the window is raised, it automatically sends off this nasty alarm. So in your kids' room, any room in the home, if you got a room way in the back that's really hard to deal with, put one on there, because as soon as that sucker goes up, it's going to make a racket and probably will run anybody off that raises that window. The same thing on your door. You don't necessarily have to. I know that alarm companies can be pretty expensive. If you can afford an alarm company, that's the way to go. That would be the best line of defense. But at the same time, I know sometimes people can't really afford that type of security. But there are really easy ways to secure your home and make a lot of racket. Second line of defense is definitely lighting. Is lighting. First or second levels of defense is lighting around your home, and you can even say lighting could probably be one of the first lines of defense. You know, the more lights you have on outside, the more people are skeptical of just walking up in the dark. People are real accessible because they're under the shadow of darkness, and it's real easy to not be seen. People don't want to be seen. Also, cameras. Cameras and signage is a real good. Even if you really don't have a camera system. There's a lot of fake cameras out there with a lot of signage that go with them. They put them all up everywhere, and people think, oh my goodness, I'm really under a camera system here. But a real camera is the best way to go. But signage around, warning, alarm systems, warning, guard dogs. I mean, the warning signs can deter a lot as well. Anytime you put something in someone's face that says, hey, you're about to get in trouble because we have an alarm or we have a dog or whatever the case may be, signage is a really good one too. So signage, lighting, security alarms on your windows and your doors, door bars, make to really be hard to get into is another one. A dog though is another one. Dogs really make a lot of racket. And they don't necessarily have to be outside dogs. A little Chihuahua. I have a Chihuahua. Well, he's a Chihuahua / pit bull. Figure that one out. But but anything that moves, he just goes nuts. And so I get up sometime at night. He'll just go nuts, and of course I'll go out there. And he's got to go outside. But at the same time, he wakes me up immediately if anybody comes up to the door or anything. So a dog is outside dog or an inside dog can make a lot of racket for you. Gun defense. I am huge on having a weapon in the home. People say, well, I have kids. Well, you know what? You can put that weapon somewhere to where a kid cannot get to it. And I would definitely say if you have guns in the home, little kids don't even need to know that you even have one. Keep their curiosity away from that. And so you could put it up in, way up in the closet, whatever. But you want to have it accessible, and you can also put a lock on it. There are many types of locks. You could put locks on it that come off very easily. Just make sure that if you put a lock on it, you know exactly where the key is. And I would keep the key away from the lock, but at least you can get it unlocked pretty quickly. And keep it loaded. This is another thing. People have weapons, and all of a sudden they need those weapons, and they're scrambling around in the dark for bullets and rounds, and it's like and shotgun shells, and I don't even know where I put them, and all of a sudden now you're trying to beat the guy over the head with your shotgun because you don't even know where the rounds are. So it's really important that you know how, again, like we talked on the first one, that you know how to operate that weapon. And even in the dark, and you know where the rounds are to put in that weapon. You know how to get that lock off extremely quick. And run drills, guys. Run drills. Me and my wife have done it many times. A lot of times, and you can even do that for a fire drill or whatever the case may be. But what do we do if the front door alarm goes off in the middle of the night? What do my kids do? Have you trained your kids to get under their beds? Have you trained your kids to get in their closet and hide? Kids need to know what to do, because the first thing that's going to happen is the kid's going to run out and they're going to